We're going to create a workflow. We're going to name this My Outlook or Fast Track Outlook Classifier. The second thing which we will need is emails. How are we going to get it? We are going to use Google Sheets. I will put a link to this Google Sheet. You can just copy paste it, or you can copy the data, you can create your own, and we are going to use demo emails. If you don't want to use sample emails, that's completely fine. You can just use the demo emails and we are going to take it forward from there. So come back to your n8n. The first step, you can click over here or you can click over here. We are going to trigger it manually. So it just means that this is our trigger. Whenever we click execute workflow, this will get triggered. What do we need to do? We need to get Sheets, Google Sheets, and we're going to get rows. All right, so we're going to get rows. We need a credential over here. Create credential the same way. So let's create a Gmail credential. How to do that? I'm going to do a simple workflow, test it manually, and we are going to say it's okay. Let's create a Gmail node. It's too small. Let me send a message. So I already have a few credentials over here. This is my personal local installed n8n instance for YouTube now. So if you see now, I don't get that button of sign in with Google, and there are a few minor differences between Cloud, n8n Cloud, and the personal one, which is self-hosted. So that's why. So how do we do this? How do we create a credential, right? So let's open the docs. Just follow the docs, you should be fine. Over here, first we need is a Google Cloud account. Then log into the Gmail account that you want to create the Google Cloud account, get started, and then go to the console. So once you're at the console, come over here, create a new project. I'm going to my n8n. You can name it whatever you want. This project will be creating. I created a bunch of projects earlier. So select the project. Then over here, API and services, go to credentials. Create credentials, Oauth client ID. First thing that we will need to do is configure the consent screen. Configure the consent screen, get started. Name is my n8n app. Support email is the one which you want to use. External, next, same thing again. Next, I agree, continue, create. Once this is created, now we can create the Oauth client. Over here, let's create the web application. It doesn't matter what you name, the only thing which you need is to add the URI. Where will you get this URI? Go back to your YouTube thing, click to copy. Once you copy this, go back, paste it, create. Voila. Once you have created this is your client ID, this is your secret. So take that client ID, put it over here, take that client secret, put it over here. All right, save. Now we do need to do one more step, but before that, you can download the JSON if you want. However, you need to come over here. You need to search for Gmail. Once you get the Gmail API, you have to enable it. because without enabling it, you'll not be able to do anything. You'll get an error. So we got the credentials down, we got the consent screen down. I think that's what is needed, honestly. Let's go back. We'll see if we face any issues. So now you'll get the screen, the same screen which we got with the cloud account. Access denied. So you're a developer, we are getting an access denied account. Okay, so let's go back. Credentials, consent screen. No, create a test user. Let's save, publish the app, confirm. Now let's see what happens. Alright, now with that done, we can advance. It is just saying that this is unsafe, don't worry about it. Select all, and this is the screen which you got. So when you are using a self-hosted version, you have to do a little bit more configuration. You have to be a little bit more technical. They have made it easy for the cloud and the enterprise accounts. So its choice is yours. I don't do the Gmail every day, so sometimes I forget the steps. However, as long as you see the screen, we are good. Oh. We need a client ID and client secret. It's exactly the same client ID and client secret that we created using in the first step while we created the Gmail account. So once you have that, you can close this out, close. We can use this, you can use any of them. We need a document, sheet within a document. The operation is get rows. There are multiple operations over here. We can clear all the contents which we do not want to do, create we do not want to do. Right now we want to do get rows. What do we need? We need this account is my Gmail account, so we will need to go back. We'll need to choose my Gmail account, which is this one, and I'm going to choose FTM Outlook Inbox Demo, which is nothing but this FTAIM. I call it like fast track AImastery.com Outlook Inbox Demo. We're going to take that. We do not need this. I'm going to close this for now. Over here, which sheet do we need? We do not need the sample emails. We need demo emails. We have two sheets in there. So we have two sheets in here. We need the demo email. This is what we are going to use. You can use this also, but it will send a lot of emails which we do not want at this time. We just want to test one at a time. So in order to do this, we are not going to use 4 emails. The way I like to do this is one by one. That is the best way, or else you'll get overwhelmed and it's just not worth it. You will not figure out what's going on, which one failed, which one succeeded. No matter what type of programming you're doing or what type of workflow you're doing, right? Do one step, test it out. So if I go back to that theory, we're going to delete this. The first thing which you're going to do is execute. Yes, my workflow is executed successful. First step is successful. I got a green check mark, right? Next thing what I'm going to do is going to add a sheet, Google Sheets. The action that we need is get rows. From get rows, where do you want to get the rows? You want to get it from this. And what is the sheet we need? We need demo. If you go back to the demo sheet, you can go it from over here, or there is a shortcut over here. If you click this button, it's going to take you to the same exact sheet, just to make sure that we are using the same sheet. All right. You can do execute step over here, or you can run the entire workflow. I'm going to save it, but I'll show you how to do it from the sheet. So you can do execute. You got one high priority record. That's what we wanted. So we created this, we tested it out, created this, we tested it out. Now, why are we doing this? In order to send the emails. So it's a very good practice to label this. You can use this add a sticky note. I like to add sticky notes at the end just to categorize things. Double click on this, then you can edit this. So I am a note, send emails automatically, right? So we got this. Now the next thing which we need is, why do we need to send emails? To test the email classifier. All right, what we are going to do over here is, first step, we are getting the rows from Google Sheets. Second, we will send emails to Outlook email box, right? So these are the two things that we need to do. This is just going to keep us on the track what we are doing. I don't like yellow, we're going to do blue. Blue is fine, I don't like yellow. So next step is, what we need to do is we need to send an email. We are going to use a Gmail node. You can use whatever node you want. Send a message, right? Same thing, you're going to create a credential. In order to create the credential for this, you need a Google Cloud account. We have went through this. Once you go through the Google Cloud account, go to the console, exact same steps. You have to go to the project and you're going to create your APIs over here for the same thing. Only thing which you need to do is, for Gmail, you need to go Gmail API and make sure that it is enabled. You'll see enable, I see manage because it's already enabled. And for Sheets, you have to make sure that you have Sheets enabled over here. So those are the only two requirements. The rest of the setup we have already done earlier. Close this out to make it a little simpler, right? We have this Gmail account. Close. We are going to use my Sandy4V Gmail account for this one. What are we going to do? Resource, we don't want to create a label, a draft, or a thread, right? Labels are the labels that you see on your Gmail. Draft is an email draft. Threads, again, an email thread, the entire thread of the email. We are not taking. What we need is resource. The operation, we can do a lot of operations over here. But we do not want to add labels, do not want to do anything. What we want to do is send a message. Who do you want to send a message? This is where your email is going to go in, which is sandy4v@hotmail.com. This is the email ID for this one. Okay, this is the email ID for this one. Right now, we have a bunch of mails over here. To make our life easy, I'm going to empty all of them. This is empty, empty, empty. This way we have like a clean slate. Delete. I'm going to delete the drafts over here as well. Cool, perfect. Now we have a clean slate. We'll get a new email over here. Let's do that. So go back. We'll get an email over here. What is the subject that we want over here? The subject we have already listed. Speaker cancel last minute. This is the exact subject that we want. Notice it's fixed over here, but as soon as I drag this, it will become expression. It has automatically become expression. So it's an intrinsic function, right? And the second thing is what we can select text, HTML, doesn't matter. It matters, but right now it doesn't matter. So we have got this step. Perfect. Now if we execute, we should see one email to us. So I'm going to execute the workflow. Last time we did an execute node. This time we're going to do the execute workflow. Perfect. One email was sent. Let's check. Email has been sent. Now this is your regular email inbox. Nothing is going to happen. It's not going to get classified. Nothing is happening over there, right? So what do we do? This step is complete. We can use this as many times as we want. So I'm going to like pull it out, save it. This step is completed. Send emails automatically. The next step that we want to do is create the email classifier. For what? When we get an email over here, that's when we want to do the classification, right? First thing, what we need is an Outlook credential. How are we going to do that? First, come over here, look for Outlook. We need a trigger which is on message received. What we need to do is create a new credential. How are we going to do that? So if we go to the docs, it will tell us that we need a Microsoft Azure account. So let's go over there, get started with Azure, try Azure for free and create an account. Once you have an account, sign into that account. So you'll come over here, .com. The next thing which we need to do is come over here to your Microsoft Azure account and look for app registration. App registration. This over here, you have to create a new registration. So right now I have a registration already created, but we are going to create a new one, call as n8n for AI. Then we need to choose that this is for a personal Microsoft account. The platform which we are going to choose is web, and then we need a redirect URI. Back to the canvas, this is where we are. Over here we are trying to create a new credential, and this is your URI. You can click several times to copy it. Once you copy it, come back, put it over here. You can give whatever permissions you want, but right now admin is fine. Register the application. Once your application registration is done, then let's see what else do we need. We will need a client ID and a client secret. Where are we going to get that? So this is your client ID. You can copy this, go back, put it in your client ID. Where are you going to get the secret? So if you see the client credentials over here, this is add certificate or secret. You're going to create a new certificate. I'm going to name it as n8n for AI. I'm going to make it like 730 days or 24 months, after which it will expire and you have to renew it. That is for security. Once that is done, you have to take the value, come over here, client secret, connect my account. Once you see that, you should see this dialog box. Let apps access all of these things except connection is successful. This is what you want to see. With this, you have your Microsoft account created. So I'm going to say sandy4v@hotmail.com. Perfect. Save. And that's what your account is. Now, if I do a fetch test event, I should get this. As long as you get this, you guys are good. You have successfully set up your Microsoft Outlook credentials. Thank you. We search for Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, and we need a trigger, right? We don't need an action. Action is like when you want to do something, as we discussed in the previous videos. We need a trigger. Trigger is like when something happens, do something. In this case, the trigger is when this credential that we created earlier, it gets a message, and this is the mode every minute. So if you remember, when is it going to check? It's going to check every minute for a new. You can change it. You can do it weekly. Custom is a cron thing. You have to put a cron expression over here. And this is the way you can define the cron expression. We are not going to do that. We are doing every minute. You can add more poll times, but I'm just going to keep it as a minute. As soon as the trigger is received, a message is received. Okay. what we need to do. Let's do a fetch test event. Fetch test, we got it. So if you see, we did get the subject and body, right? However, we did not get a lot of information over here because our output is simplified. In this case, what you do is you select this output to raw. Now you will get a lot of information, like when was the time it was received or sent, whether it has an attachment or not. So sometimes it's feasible to do simplified if you are getting the information that you need, but I'm not getting the time and stuff like that. So I'm going to select raw. With raw, you get a lot of information. We got our first email. We have tested out this node. We are golden. Great, right? What is the next step we are going to do? So if we go back to our reference classifier, we are going to use an email classifier agent, right? I'm going to use this. The prompts will be given to you. So go over here in the AI nodes, you can find OpenAI. And what we need to do is, like, we need an action. There are a bunch of actions over here. We're not going to use, we're not analyzing images. We are not generating audio. There are a lot of things that is possible. We are messaging a model, right? Now you need to create OpenAI credentials, which we saw in the previous, one of the previous notes. Now how to create this credential. With that, select resource as text. Operation is message a model. Basically, we are messaging an OpenAI model. What model are we going to choose? I like 4.1 mini. You can use 4.1. The cost is higher for those ones, but we are going to use 4.1 mini. All right. What we need is a prompt and a system prompt. Okay, a system prompt. So we need two things. In the user prompt, what we need to give is what is the information or the context that our model is going to have, based on which it is going to do some tasks. So the prompt that we are going to use is, we are going to use an email subject, we are going to use an email body, and the entire email also is going to be over there. Why do I need to give the entire email? I don't, but I just like to give a complete context on when the email came and not. Even if you do not give this, that's completely fine. But you're going to copy this. You're going to give this as a prompt. Now, the best way to find out whether this is good or not is preview. Can you see it over here? This is the JSON subject. How did I get the JSON subject? If you scroll on the left hand side, you will get this. You can put it over here. So this is one way you can put it. The second way you can put it is, like, you can directly start typing. I'm going to delete this first in order to avoid issues. So if you see, JSON came, tab, dot, and then I have all of these things, right? I'm going to look for subject. I found subject, delete. I can do the same thing over here. I'm just showing you how to get JSON dot body, and I got it, right? And if you do like the entire this is the entire JSON, right? There are various ways to do that. We're going to use this. You're going to use JSON.stringify.json. This is what it is. If you see this is undefined, it means that we made a mistake. It's in red. So if you type body, or you can even select it over here like BOD, and you can select this. That's how you'll get the output now. All right, so we are saying object. This is not what we want to see. What we want to see is this content. So if you see, body is a JSON object. Inside that there is content type and content. So I can do another content and do this. So if you see in my previous one, I have missed that. No, I did not miss it. I have content. So I got the content. Perfect. So now I got the email subject. I got the content. What is the next thing that we need? We need a system message. I put this in the system message. Actually, we are going to cut this. We're going to put in the user prompt. It's the same thing. User prompt is over here. You can have it literally up and down. It really doesn't matter. I could have done this as well. Now we need to give a prompt, a system prompt, in which we are going to tell what does the AI agent needs to do with this data. This is the input data that we have given it. Oh no, that's a system prompt, sorry. C. Perfect. You are an intelligent email classifier. Okay. This is, we are giving it a role. Classify the provided email into one of these categories. So we are telling it what is the task it needs to do. All right. High priority emails. This is exactly what we're telling it. Emails requiring immediate attention or action from key stakeholders, clients, or decision makers. So you can define what is high priority to you. This is something generic that I have used, and these are the keywords. If anybody is writing urgent, ASAP, immediate deadline, action required, high priority, these are all categorized into as high priority emails. Similarly, we have done customer support. The keywords are request, inquiry, so I have given some different kind of keywords over here. Promotional emails is launch, collaboration, this, that, newsletters, promotion, offers, campaigns. These are all inside promotions. And finance and billing is dealing with anything with money, like invoices, payments, billing, receipts, anything that has to banking, that will be inside financial billing. Do not explain your reasoning, only output a JSON object. So I do not need a reason why it classified it as that. However, if I go back over here, so that's my prompt. Now let's execute this step. It's going through the email and it is classifying it as high priority. That's exactly what we want. However, if you see, there is a lot of data which is coming over here. I might need only bunch of data from here to go to the next level. So the way I can do that is, there is a third way, there is assistant prompt. So user, to recap, is the data which is coming in, which we are giving it to it. The system is the role, persona, you're telling it what it needs to do, what are you expecting as an output. You can also give examples. And assistant is a prompt where we are telling it how do you want the output to be. So I want it in the JSON format, and this is the output I'm looking for, right? This is the output I'm looking for. So we're going to copy this, because we're getting a lot of HTML tags and stuff over here. I don't need all this crap. What I need is, this is my old one. We're going to add another message. We are going to say assistant. So basically, user is send a message as a user, get response from the model. Assistant is tell the model to adopt a specific tone and personality. So this is how I do it. Like, user is the data which is coming in, system is you tell what it needs to be done, assistant is like how is the output you want to look like. So we're coming over here. This is the output that I want. Execute step, and now the output is going to be in the mode that we have specified in the assistant. You see, content assistant, it's coming in. Now it's simplified. It's still not coming as JSON. So what I'm going to do, output it as JSON. Execute it. Perfect. Now I'm getting all the data inside a JSON object. If I don't do this, I was getting a little bit of gibberish. Now I have it, right? It has the reason, it has the classification that we needed. Now let's assume that we want to add a reasoning to this one. We can change the prompt. I'm going to delete this. All right. First we told it to not give the reasoning. Now we are going to say create a short description why you classify in the above categories. All right, so now over here in the assistant, what we are going to do is we are going to give it an example, right? Reason. I'm going to add another object, and reason is like example is the user is in panic mode and needs urgent attention. So this is the reasoning. I'm just giving it an example on why this is a short description about why it classified it the way. Now let's execute it one more time and we should see another reason. So the email request immediate action due to the last minute cancellation of guest speakers. So it summarized, it took the information from the body, the subject, and it gave a reason because of the urgency, and it classified as high priority. So this output is pretty flexible. You can do whatever you want with it. And with that said, you have a email classifier agent. Perfect. What is the next step that you want to do? We want to send this email. We want to send this email, which came from here, into a high priority folder. So we have created, if you don't have, create a new folder and you can give it a name, whatever you want. Right now I don't need anything. We already have a high priority folder. We created this folder, so we are going to use this folder. Come back over here. I want to first move this email. So Outlook, I want to move this email. So move a message. This is what we want to do, right? What we want to do is move a message. We got a list, high priority. So these are the folders that we want to do. Now we don't want to move the message from the list because list, it is retrieving from there. What we want to do is like we want to move the message by the ID. This is where we need the ID. Where are you going to get the ID? This is the ID. So in your input content.id, this is the ID that you will need. This is a unique ID for each message and you're going to execute. And from there, we are going to run this. So moving it to high priority was successful and our message got moved over here to high priority. Perfect. So we got our email. What do we need to do next? We want to create a draft. Okay. We are moving it to high priority. I'll come to this, why we need it and when we need it. The next step we are going to do is create a draft using message a model, right? So come over here. We are going to again go to AI, message a model, and we are going to message a model. Perfect. So we got this. Now what we need to do is we need to give it a context. Again, we are going to choose 4.1 mini. If we can use 4.1 mini and get the desired results, why not, right? So we are going to tell this to, now in this case I'm just using a system prompt. So you are an executive assistant. All right, copy this, you'll have it in the notes. Make this as a system prompt. Perfect. I will fix this. You are an executive assistant. Your job is to respond to incoming high priority inquiries as accurately as you can. Here is the email you are responding to, right? So how do you get this email now? Oh, this is in red because we copied it from there. You can go back over here. And if you remember, this is the subject, you can drag it over here. Voila, you got the subject. And same way, you can take this and you can find the body content and you got the body. That way you have the email and the body. Please output the following parameters. We need subject, message, and the text. Like this is the draft for responding. This is the text message that will be sent to the respective team to notify there is an urgent item that needs action and provide a brief summary. So if we execute this now, all right, our scheduled, so this is the content that is outputted. If I do it as JSON, we'll get only the JSON output. Perfect. Subject. So we told our agent that we need a subject and message to notify it to our teams, right? What is it notifying? It created a message. This is urgent backup plan needed for today's live Q&A. Our guest speaker has canceled. We need to implement a backup plan immediately to ensure the event proceeds smoothly. And this is the text message. I also asked it to create a text message. This is what we are going to use to send it via Telegram. Now we got create high response. Perfect. What do we want to do over here? We want to create a draft. Where are we going to create an email draft? In Outlook. Create a draft. Perfect. Now, because we have already executed this, I don't want this to be executed again and again. So select all of these and you can hit P. P is for pinning the data. Now I don't need to run again and again. It is not going to fetch. It is not going to use my tokens again and again. This is not going to use my tokens because that work is already been done. So create a draft. What do we need? We need a subject. We already got it. What do we need? A message. We have the message. All right. So it's a little wanky message, but it works. And additional properties. We don't have any attachments. We don't have anything else we need to do. So we are good. Alrighty. So save it. Let's go back. There should be a draft created over here. This is the draft created. Our guest speaker for today's live Q&A has cancelled at the last minute. We need to implement a backup plan. And this is exactly what a high priority. Why are we creating a draft? So for instance, you have a very important client whose message came into your email. You want to reply to it. Your agent can go and do the research, create a draft and put it over there. Imagine it hallucinated and it sent a wrong message to your client. You might lose that client. And that's why it is very important to create a draft and keep it in the email. So next, you should get an email, or you should get notified somehow that a draft has been created, that has been an important email, right? How to do that? We are going to use Telegram. Look for Telegram. Telegram, we need a trigger on message. Perfect. This is good. Now the next step is we need to go to Telegram, and if you see, this is the bot that we need. I know it's a little small. I'll try to zoom in, but what you need to do is like you have to search for bot father. Once you search for the bot father and you're over here, you can say slash new bot. New bot, it's going to ask you, all right, a new bot, how are you? What are you going to call it? We are going to call it Telebot. So basically it's a YouTube Telebot. With that said, send it out. Good. Now let's choose a username. Please choose a name for your bot. I'm going to Sandy's Telebot. I hope this works. All right, it works. So we have Sandy's Telebot. So the names are unique. With that said, this is the API key that I need. It's copied. It's as simple as creating a Telegram account, and over here create a new credential for the access token. I'm going to say Sandy's Telebot. Save. Connection tested successful. It is literally that simple to do that. Now let's try out. I'm going to perfect. So this is the Telebot. We are going to start. We need to be inactive, or we need to be listening. So execute the workflow. Now it is waiting for the trigger event. Let's go back. I'm going to resend the same message. Hello champions. I wanted champions, but so we got the message. If you come over here, hello champions, and that's how you set up your Telegram bot. It's literally as simple as that. Run, and we're going to send a message. We can send a lot of things, but send a text message. Cool. Now we need a chat ID and we need a text. So the text, if you remember, we created the text from here. We already have the text. So I'm going to go back to create a high priority message, and I'm going to take the text from here that I need. So I got the text. We don't need this, but we need the chat ID. Where are we going to get the chat ID? So save. If you go back, to the credentials, and remember this trigger, you can wait for the trigger, execute, then go your Telegram, say hello. You will get the trigger executed, and over here, if you say the ID, this is the ID that you need. So this is your chat ID. That's how you can save it. Your chat ID is going to be the same one throughout. You're going to come back over here. You're going to put the chat ID over here. So now it knows where to send it. Every bot has a unique chat ID. Once we execute this, so we got a text message over here calling as, saying as the speaker canceled last minute. That's why. So our message was successful, and that's how you create a high priority leg. Next, we are going to see how are we going to create the second leg. All right, welcome back. Continuing with our journey to do the email classifier. Today we are going to do the rest of 3 legs. If we go back, we were able to take one high priority email, we put it over here and we categorized it, right? Next, let's take one customer support email. We're going to do the same thing, but this time, as you guys already know the process, we are not going to do it from scratch. We will take a shortcut where I'm going to copy this. Control C, put it over here, and oh, it did not get copied. That's fine. We'll go back. Perfect. And to paste it. right? So this is the leg. I will walk you through this, and we need one more thing, which is a switch node. What the switch node does is very, very simple. Based on the criteria that we choose over here, or a routing rule, it will route it. So for example, if it is a high priority, we'll route it to the high priority. If it is a low priority, we'll route it to the low priority. And you can create as many routing rules as you need. There is no limit to it, right? So we'll just call it as routing, and we are going to connect this to this. That way we're going to move. So we're going to move this message. We are moving to high priority. This we are moving to low priority. We just need to check it out. Once we do this, the routing, we got the data over here. Just execute it. If you have not executed, once you get the data, pin it so that we can use it over here. Now, if you see there's only one, there is no routing rule over here. So nobody is going anywhere right now. If we run it, nothing is happening. What we need to do is we need to add a routing rule for our classification. So classification, and it's high priority. Okay, I'm going to rename this as high priority. This way what will happen is now, and pin and test, if you see it, this one item, it came over here, it went to high priority. However, I'm going to unpin this data, click on it, P, click on it, P, we unpin the data so that it can receive new data. All right, we're going to make sure our old thing is not active. It's active right now with this button click. So we are making this workflow, our new workflow is active now. It's actively looking for new emails, right? If we go to our sheet, we have a customer support email. Let's test it out. So we're going to send one email. New email sent. We should get one email over here. Perfect. How do I access past workshops recordings? Now I will show how to debug as well over here, because we are going to face some issues in here. Executions, this should get triggered very, very soon, because we have given a polling of a minute. So it should trigger within a minute. So what we are expecting is once this Outlook trigger gets triggered, it will get classified and we should see this leg to be executed. So it started. Now executed. Now this leg, it is not executing. Why? Right? Very good thing. This is where debugging is going to help, because our thing got triggered but it did not do anything. So in order for me to use this data for debugging, this new email data, we're going to copy this to the editor. Now we got this new data pinned, and I'm going to pin this as well. And if you go over here, it should be categorized as customer support, which is good. That's exactly what we want. However, in the routing rules, we do not have any routing rule for customer support. So what we are going to do, we're going to add another rule, right? This time what we are doing, we are going to copy paste this. You can do this, it will work, or you can again drag and drop the classification, right? What we want is customer support. Perfect. And now we're going to rename this as customer support. You can rename it whatever you want. I can rename it customer support 1. And now if I execute, there you go. We got another branch. And if you see the customer branch, this one got connected. So initially we only had one branch, so I'm going to delete this. We're going to connect the customer branch over here. Now you see we have a customer branch and the data is going over there. Now let's execute this. What's happening is it is supposed to move it to the customer support, but it failed. Why? Because this thing, message ID or content ID is not right. So delete it. Let's get this content ID, which is the right one. Now we need to make sure that we are going to use customer support. So this was the old one, it got deleted. We're going to choose the right one. You may not have this issue, it's with me because it was the old one. We came it from, remember we copied the leg from another workflow. So move to the customer support. Now when we execute it, it's executed. So this email it was in our inbox, it's moved to the customer support. That's what we wanted. What is the next step that we want to do? Right? This is good. We want to create a customer support email based on that. What is our query? You are a customer support service representative. Your job is to respond to incoming customer support inquiries. So based on the topic, technically based on the subject, where are we going to find the subject? We are going to find it over here. This is the subject. So if you see over here, this is in red, so we need to fix it. We are going to take the subject over here. All right. So if you see, the only difference over here is item JSON message content dot subject and content dot body over here. So over here, we are going to take body, this one. So we gave the context to it. Now when we run it, it's going to create the output that we want. So whenever you copy paste stuff, you have to make the modifications. Now your customer support email has been created. If you see over here, this is good. Send customer support response. All right. As long as all these things are green, we are good. Who are we sending the email to? Where it came from. So the email was sent from my Sandy Furby. The reply is going to go back to Sandy Furby. Well, let's go back to my Sandy Furby email account, and there you go. Access to the post workshop. You got it. Perfect. So our leg worked. Let's go back. I'm going to close these things so that you guys don't get distracted. And in our sent email, we should have another today. So this is the same email. You can see over here, this is the same email. So we are using Outlook to respond back to the customer queries automatically. One last thing that we need to do now is execute our Telegram. So we should get a message on Telegram. Chat ID. This is a different chat. This is the same chat ID actually. So let's go back to my Telegram and to I got this. I got the message. Perfect. That's what we wanted to see. With that said, now let's create our rest of the legs. So the third thing which we need to do is we are going to test promotions, right? Perfect. There are a few things which we need to do for promotions. What is a promotion email? Any email that can be directly moved to the promotion. So some promotional email example is this. Special discount, we are offering a discount, or there is a webinar. This kind of emails, maybe you directly want to flag them and put them into the promotions folder. You don't want to take any action to it, but you need to get notified. So what will happen is you'll get a promotions email, it will get classified, it will get routed to promotions, it will summarize it, it will create a text, and it will just notify us, right? That's what we want. How to do this? Over here, you guessed it right, we need to create another category, right? I can again name it whatever I want. So classification is this is going to be, let's go back. What are the things that we mentioned in our thing? Promotions. So I'm going to copy this. We are going to go back to our routing. We are going to say promotions, and let's rename this a little differently just to show you that you can do that as well. Promotions. Perfect. Now let's go back. Let's connect this category over here. So now we have this category connected. I'm just going to check whether these things are right. They may not be right. So what we're going to do is we need this JSON ID. I'm going to copy it from here just to make sure it works. Perfect. And rest everything should be good. Actually, not really. We might have to change this. Yeah, summary and rec. It might work. So let's do this. I'm going to unpin this. All right. How do you unpin? By selecting the node and saying pay, clicking the button pay. All right. So we are going to select our trigger, execute workflow, execute it. It's going to send an email. We should get a customer support email about the discounts. What we need to do is directly move it to, a promotional email, and it needs to go directly to the promotions, right? What is our prompt? How did it get classified? From system message. System message emails about marketing campaigns, newsletter, promotions, offer, sale, campaign. So we must have one of these keywords over there. If you go back, discount, that is this keyword over there. That's why it is moving it. This should get triggered right now, anytime soon. And executions, it got executed, I think. No, it's okay, it errored out. So it's a good thing. Let's figure out what's happening. So we have an issue. How do we fix it? We go to the debugger mode. Alrighty. I don't know what happened. We wanted to do debug in editor, so it should have copy paste. So sometimes, it will not get copy pasted. Let's see what's going on over here. So yeah, we missed these two things. No problem. We'll go back. By the way, you can take it from here, or you can take it from the email as well. This is how you can go to your previous notes. So you can go to email classifier, or you can go even to this one. It really doesn't matter. Let's go to this one that we'll see. So where is our subject? Subject is going to be here, and in this case the body is going to be here. So notice the difference. Even though it works, we are taking it from two different places. So in this case, for promotions, we are taking the values from our Microsoft Outlook trigger node. However, if you go back to our support email, we are taking the values from email classifier agent, right? So there is no set rule that you have to do this or that. You can go back as far as you want, as long as those nodes are connected. Now, if we run this, I'm going to pin this data. I'm going to pin, why is this deactivated? I'm going to pin this data. Pin. So let's run it again. Ran, unpin, move to promotions. This thing was done actually. So run this, because there is nothing to move to promotions. So let me save this one more time. This is good. We don't need to make any changes. This has already been moved to promotions. That's why it is not working. So can I? Yes, let's put it back to inbox, and I'm going to run it. This time it will work. Could not be found. The recess could not be found. So something is, it's not able to find that. All right, that's fine. You know what? Let's do this one more time. We're going to delete this. And this is why testing is very, very important. Every time you do some kind of testing, any change, you should test it out again. So this, we are going to send a promotional email one more time. using our trigger. Boom, boom, boom. We should get a new email. We got a new email over here. We just received it, 9:59. This is 1:59 because of the time difference, but 9:59. I have to change my time. Let's go back. If you go to executions, all right, okay. Now the next one which got executed right now, 9:59, this one got succeeded. So if you see, it got routed to move to promotions, summary and record, and notify, and we should have gotten a notification. Yes, summary. An external company is offering a 20% discount promotion. So we got the email, it got classified, it got moved to promotions, and we didn't have to take any actions. So the high priority one, we created a draft. The draft is over here. For customer support, we did reply back without any user intervention. So this is how you clean it up. And then last, we did not reply to anybody, but we just get ourselves notified that, listen, there is some kind of discount. You don't have to worry about it. You can take action if you want. Do not take any action if you don't want. With that said, we are at the end, almost at the end. Let's do one more leg. Okay, so I'm going to unpin this, pin PP. What is the last category we need? The last category that we need on the system is finance/billing. All right. So let's go over here. We are going to copy to save us some time. Again, easy peasy. We're going to check finance/billing. Actually, you don't have to come over here. You can just come over here. What did we classify it with? We classified it as finance or billing. We are going to take this. Remember, we need another routing over here because we need another leg to move it over here. Add a routing rule. All right, we need some kind of data over here. So let's take one last finance/billing. Perfect. Save. Let's come over here. This is going to fail. If you remember, this is going to fail, and that's what we want. We are going to fix it. If you don't want it to fail, you can disconnect it, and that way this leg is not going to fail. Save it. Let me show you how we are going to do it. So all we need is we want to categorize it, right? So for that to happen, that's fine. This is not going to fail. Just not going to get executed. Perfect. So let's send an email. Did we send an email already? No, we did not send an email right now. That's the old run. So come back over here. Execute a workflow. Make sure the data is for finance and billing. Execute the workflow. Boom, boom. We should get a new email. Come on. All right. Invoice needed. We got this new email. Let's come back over here. Executions. This is the execution we need to use. And we need the data from this execution, right? What's happening? It's still loading. So this leg, if you see, this is our new workflow, latest workflow, and it's running. Why is it running again? Okay. So technically it already ran, but it was not showing up over here. That's the lag between n8n servers and our local servers, but the work was actually done. This is what we need to copy back to the editor. Now we got the data. If you see, this must be called, this must have been categorized as finance and billing. That's exactly what we want. Over here, if you see the output, it got to the output, you know, like there's one output item. It did not get categorized as high priority, customer support, or promotions. We need to create a new one, right? We need to create a new one. How are we going to do that? Same way. We're going to find the classification. We're going to say finance and billing. You can copy it from here as well. finance and billing. We're going to rename as finance and billing. We're going to execute step. Notice this changed to finance and billing and the data is over here. It did not go anywhere else. That's exactly what we want. Now we're going to connect this. Now this item is going to come to our finance and billing. Move to finance and billing. We have a folder called as finance and billing. We need the email to be moved over here. How are we going to do that? Again, how are we going to do that? We come over here. First, what is the ID? Delete this, get this ID. Perfect. Where are we going to move it? You can move it to any of the folders. These are all the folders from my Outlook, but we are moving it to finance and billing. Execute step. We should see an email to finance and billing. Successfully moved the email. How cool is that? With that said, what is the next step? We have to create a reply. Cool. What do we need? We need the subject. It's a similar prompt, very simple prompt that analyze this and create me a text message. Not every time you have to follow like the prompt structure. If a simpler prompt works for a simpler task, you can definitely use that. And that's what we have done over here. So let's delete this. As I said, we can take the data from here and from anywhere else. So let's do something different this time. We're going to take subject from our Microsoft Outlook trigger, and let me delete this. And we're going to take the body from the classifier agent. Can we do this? Yes, we can do anything that we want. Sky's the limit. So now I'm getting the subject from the trigger, I'm getting the body from this. Not that you have to do it, I'm just showing you how you can use any of the nodes in the previous legs. Let's execute this now. Boom, boom, boom. It should get executed. Voila, we got a text message as well. Customer needs a tax invoice, blah, blah, blah. Based on the subject and the body, it created a text message. We are going to send this text message, we are going to send this subject and this email to our finance department. In my case, we don't have another email, but this is supposed to be a different email for a different finance company. So we can put that email over here and it will go to that finance department. So for example, my finance department is sandeep@gmail.com, right? We can do that, and this is my finance department's email. It will go to them because every company will have a different email ID, and that's where the integrations come through. Not everybody's going to use the same email, or you don't have to send it back to the person who you received the email from. In this case, let's do sandeep@gmail.com. Perfect. The email was sent. I'm going to go to my Sandeep Gmail account and voila. Oh, sorry. Voila. We got it over here. So this is our finance department. Technically, we got the email to them. We go back. And last thing is we need to notify our finance head. This could be a Telegram message for a different team. You have to just update the ID. We do not have the finance department's ID, Telegram ID, so we are going to use our own ID right now. Same thing, we are just giving the details about what happened. Execute the step and we should receive a new one, a finance or billing inquiry, blah, blah, blah. We got it. So to summarize, what have we done? First, we have dummy emails over here. Let me run the demo one final time. Now is the moment of truth. What we are going to do is I'm going to take this. Let's take this. Take this, and this. We are going to test all four at the same time, and that's the best way to test it. Perfect. This time we are going to send 4 emails, not one by one. We have done the unit testing. Now this is called as integration testing, right? We have integrated all the legs over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This whole unit testing is done. When we are doing like one test on one node, that's called as unit testing. When we are testing an entire leg, it's called as integration testing. And we are And even the integration testing, when all the nodes that are connected, we are doing the testing for the whole system. This is the system testing. So these are different types of testings that you can do. And after that, QA testing is when you send this to a user for who you are building it. They will test it out and they will give you the feedback. If the client is happy, QA testing is done, and then you will move it to production. So that's how a software cycle works. Let's test it out. The moment of truth, we are going to send 4 emails. I'm going to, again, in order to test this out, oh boy, I get excited every time a solution is going to work. Empty, empty, drafts, empty, just to show you that we are not fooling around. Believe this is the workflow that we have built. The old one was different. I just want to make sure that we are on the same page. All right, perfect. This is the new workflow we have built right now. Perfect. Now the first thing that we are going to do is send this email. So make sure this is execute workflow. We're going to execute it. Boom, 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 boom. Come over here. We should get 4 emails. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to our n8n. Our n8n is active. So this should get triggered. It doesn't matter whether it's penned or not. Within a minute, it will start getting executed. All those 4 workflows, or it will be one workflow will execute, but it will take all the 4 emails because it will check all the new emails that came in the last minute. Waiting. Cool. It started kicking it. It's running. It will run all 4 legs. We should see our emails disappearing. Magical. Boom, 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 boom. One more boom. Gone. High priority emails. A draft was created. This is the new draft. Customer support. An email was automatically replied. So if you go to send, the emails got replied. You know, just look at the 212. 2 emails will be sent out. Then a promotions email. We did not do anything for this. Finance and billing department, this one, and we should have gotten 4 text messages for this one. 1012, 1012, 1012, 1012. This 10.8 is the old one. So you got 4 text messages, and that's the power of automation. Boom. I really hope you liked it. Thank you so much.